Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to do Barb Wire, Ace of Spades, issue number 3 of 4 by Dark Horse Comic, made by Chris Warner and Tim Bradstreet, with a nice looking cover. No backgrounds, unfortunately, but you know, at least it's not a post cover. It's more like an action cover with cool details. I like it. So let's dive in. So we see, cops on the scene because of what happened in the last issue, and so we have some evidence of a death card. He's killed these mobsters. So they are, taking a car and driving away, and then this person on a bike is in front of them, and these seems that the cop doesn't know who this guy is, but he's driving recklessly, and they want to what's the word? Book him, but it's none other than death card, the one that they are looking for. And she's shooting at the cops, as you can see here, and the other guy's just dead. So this cop is pretty pissed off, and he says, "You dead, bitch!" And then also, I don't know, the radio is talking, I guess, and it says, "All talk, all time, Barry Brown shower, Steel Harbor, live. The loud noise you hear, friends, is the sound of sabers rattling in the harbor. The citywide slaughter of Metal City's hardest gangbangers continue unabated. Cops are following a trail of bullets to the hitman, or should I say, woman, known only as Death Card, reported to be behind a series of slayings. The question remains, who pulls Death Card's trigger?" Oh, this is fun. And so he is, tried to get her, but then she's tried to escape here. And so the radio guy says, "Is this vigilante chutzpah or a swing for the fences by an underworld power player?" Now, I'm not sure what chutzpah is. I don't know. Is that the real deal? Maybe one of my, followers know what it is and can do a comment below in the video, if you will. And he's pissed off that she is escaping, and he's throwing his gun. I'm not sure a police cop should do that. You could get her in trouble. And so she's all pissed off. Meanwhile, our heroine, if you can call her that, Barb Wire, is back, and she's, looking dirty and hurt because she was ran over by a car in the last issue. And but it seems that her bike was, the owner is her brother who's blind, and she's tried to, gonna apologize to him. And then this is happening, and she says, "Aren't you taking this bit of personal?" But it's not on the death card, but there's a male one that came out of nowhere. So he says, "We need to talk. More to the point, you do." And she says, "Hey, where's my brother?" "Resting quietly. Word has it you've been moonlighting on my side on the fence, dressed like me, in fact. That pisses me off." She said, "Why didn't you pull the trigger when I walked through the door?" He says, "Because I want to know whose hands is up the puppet's skirt before I kill you both." I love 90s. I love 90s writing. I haven't heard that before in comics, so it did crack me up. But then, Barb Wire is actually very good in hand-to-hand, and she's pretty aggressive too. And she also insults him. She said, "I think you lost your edge, killer. You're slow and soft." Ads, we're going to move from on. So she says, "You've been out of the game too long, and I'm going to spoil your comeback." And she also said there's a cop looking for him. Makes jokes here. But then Death Card says, "Hey, I'm going to get out of here, and you're going to let me." So one right move, and it's going to light the whole flame, light the whole thing up. And he says, "Don't think this is over, Wire. I got my eyes on you." And then her brother, I believe they have not a really good relationship with each other. It probably happens in the comics before that I don't have. But overall, this story is pretty easy to follow, although there's some things in here that leads to comics before. But, as a new Barb Wire reader or a reader from the series, it's pretty easy to follow. That's nice. And she says, "Hey," she says, "Charlie, I'm so sorry. Well, that makes it all better, doesn't it? You better start dealing with this bullshit. Dealing cards. I'm sick of this. Think it's time I placed my ace and all. Okay, these puns, dude. Okay, it's not always working, but hey. Meanwhile, we go to one of the many one of the head gang members called Mace. And this woman is trying to convince him that he needs to take action because the other gang members are being left and right killed by Death Card, except for his gang. That makes other gangs nervous. So meanwhile, basically, they think he is in cahoots with Death Card, and they also think that's Barb Wire. And she said, "Hey, you need to do something." And he says, "They can't afford the guts. If they keep bleeding, you have the only crew at full strength. You'll be too much of a threat. They won't have a choice." And with they, she means the other are the gang members. "Whether you're behind it or not, you have to hit them now before they move." He says, "What?" So he stands up all pissed and he says, "So you're saying that Mace," he calls himself in the third reference. Is that how you say it? "Might be a yellow back shooting rat. Is that right? I could eat the movers." That's probably the other gang members, bangers. "For lunch, and I still have room for a sandwich." These lines, man, so funny. "Mace Blitzkrieg don't need a woman to do his killing or tell him who needs killing. Mace does his own killing, and he's thinking about it right now. Next time you see Mace will be the last time, Ramera." So she's fleeing because he's crossed the line. Meanwhile, we have Wolf here, and there's a mysterious woman that is trying to convince him that Barb Wire is actually Death Card. But he doesn't think that she is, because although they were enemies in the past, I believe they're on good quote-unquote relations now, because he's proved himself in the past or something. And she's trying to do her best, this one, to prove Wolf that's, wrong and, etc. So probably more on that later. Well, not in this comic, but in the next one. Meanwhile, we have a group of gang members, and I forgot if they are from Wolf's side or from another group. And they've been called here by Mace, which is weird. But then the woman called Eclipse, or Mesmerization Eclipse, is the one that called them here. And word is on the street that, according to her, "You heard the rumor. No doubt that Barb Wire is the Death Card's assassin. The rumor is true." And they say, "I knew it." "How do you know, Miss Eclipse?" they ask. Moving on. And she says, "Because she's worked for Mace Blitzkrieg." All right. Mace has Barb Wire under the payroll for months. Well, okay, she's lying because, of probably what happened before. Now she wants to have revenge on him, but these idiots don't know that. So she's playing them to, set him up. So one of these gang members says, "You're on Mace payrolls too. Why drop dime on him? He never told me about his plans. Maybe Death Card has a bullet for me too. Mace blames all of us for his past failures. His macho paranoia is bad for business. He's going to ruin everything we've built. So what do you expect us to do?" they ask. So she says, "Get your people ready. I got Mace on the surveillance. And as soon as Mace alone and out of the open, we drop the hammer." Yeah, hammer time. Meanwhile, Barb Wire is going for a night stroll, and she's here on some kind of a junkyard, and she is visiting a friend. And that friend is called, what's his name? Avram Roman. So it seems that he's a hacker, but he is way more than that. They call him the Machine. And look at this, man. What a design. So he is basically Frankenstein's monster. Probably did that to himself, but I'm guessing. And he explains, a little bit what happened, but he already knows that. And she asks for his help. She says, "I'm in big trouble, Avram. I need your help. I'm sorry." And he says, "I won't help. I'm aware of the nature of your current problems. They don't concern me. Are you aware that I could get killed for something I didn't do? Your lifestyle makes these situations inevitable. I no longer wish to be involved. Your friendship seems to be contingent on my uselessness. Your past generosity came at a price, a price I have paid in full. My current situation is entirely adequate for my needs. I've gotten along without your friendship for some time now. Perhaps you should learn to get along without my help. Wow, she's got a dose of reality kicked in her face. I didn't see that coming. So he says, I know that sounds selfish, but I've learned to indulge my human side whenever possible. I don't know much longer I have. Probably, maybe he's dying, I'm not sure. So he says, I hope you drop in again for purely social reasons, of course. Good luck, Barbara. All right, that's cool. So she's on around and she's getting attacked by the female death card out of nowhere. And so death card says, some people think I'm you, but how can it be when I'm kicking your ass? Good question. Maybe you can ask the cops. So they're gonna have a fight with each other. And I must say the action is really good. You know what's unfortunate? That I just realized that now. I only know Barb Wire from, way back in the day, but also barely. And then the movie came along and I immediately lost interest. And because, well, Pamela Anderson is good to look at it, in those times, but the movie was shit and Pamela Anderson is not really a good actress. So maybe, just maybe, this franchise died because of that movie, but I'm just guessing. And which is a shame because so far I am really enjoying this. It's very fun to read. It's easy to follow. The pacing is nice, and it has a nice cliffhanger too. So let's go into that. More ads. So Death Card is fleeing on the bike, but it's clearly a setup, and she doesn't have a choice to follow her, and she is now going into Wolfgang Holy Ground. So yeah. Wolf is the guy with the dreads. And then she says, hey, I got you now, girlfriend. Shoots at her and she is fleeing into this silo, probably. So she's following her and there is, oh no, dead people. Wolfgang gangsters dead as doornails. Looked like Death Card has left her hammer and left me holding the bag. And then I believe this is what this, Wolfgang... Well, ain't this a pretty picture? Is it Wolfgang? Yeah, Wolfgang. So yeah, she's in deep trouble because now she's being set up by Death Card as the one who just killed the gang. So yeah, trouble in paradise, if you can call it that. That leads us to this issue. Guys, I like I said, I like that. Nice cliffhanger. And that leads us to issue 4. So far, I'm having fun. Right. So guys, that's it for this video. Let me know what you think about it. Leave a comment, like my video, and subscribe my channel if you like my content. As always, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.